I think about 7 or 8 years ago, I had a video that was called something to the effect of use fax machine as printer, put that old dial-up modem to use. Now, this was the machine that I had used, and it has sat since that time, never even plugged in or turned on. So I don't even know if it still works. We're going to find out. It looks like it has yellowed greatly since then. I'll put a clip of that video in here. The Brother IntelliFax 620. This is an old thermal fax machine that somebody gave me, and you can see it's got the roll of thermal paper in it. But over here I have equally ancient, although maybe not quite as old, laptop that somebody had given me. Okay, I have a picture loaded and I have set it to print to fax. I have the fax machine connected with just a plain telephone wire into the lonesome modem jack that is never used any longer. I'm sure it's not going to work, but we'll try it anyway. Sending fucking page. No shit. The starting of an image. So we're going to plug this thing in and do a revisit. The reason I want to do this is because it's been a long time, and there is a disclaimer possibly involved, and we'll get to that later. But the reason I want to do this especially now is because this is the laptop, the very laptop I used in that video, and sometime between then and now the hard drive in it failed. So I replaced that, reloaded the operating system, so everything is for the most part exactly as it was. So we're going to try to revisit that and print over the phone line without using an actual telephone line at all. We're going to plug the fax machine directly into the lonely modem port on the side here and give that a shot. Now, in that video, I don't think I used this cable. I don't know where it came from. This is missing its clip, but it's a 4-wire connector and doesn't look all that good. Maybe a little cat chewed or something, I don't know. So let's first plug the machine in and see if it even turns on. It says, please wait. I hear paper moving. Oh, not good. Oh, great. Already? All right, let me see if I can fix this. Apparently it's 1995 all over again. There is something wrong with the cutter on here, but it did actually manage to make its way through, and maybe you can just barely see the print on there. This thermal paper is definitely no good anymore. So anyways, what we're going to do is I'm going to load up the very same picture that I had printed on this fax machine, and we're going to try to do that again. If I recall, I had to go into Modems and go to Properties, and somewhere in here disable it needing waiting for a dial tone. Wait for dial tone before dialing. So we'll uncheck that. We'll hit OK, and I'll close that. And now I'm going to take this very cable, and hopefully it's going to plug in over here and stay in enough, at least. Yeah, it seems like a tight enough fit. And with any luck, there it is. So we'll go over to print, and we'll hit next. It asks where we want it to go, so we're going to choose fax. Printing preferences. Normal is fine. That's really it. That's the only choice there, so that's fine and good. We'll hit next, wait for this to generate its preview, and see if we want a full page fax print or full page photo print. We'll do the fax print, that's fine. And we'll hit next. It says printing. and here's the fax configuration wizard. So we'll hit next. Full name JK18. Fax number 555-555-5555. See if we can leave the rest out. See if that'll work. Yes, use the modem, enable send. We're also going to enable receive and do a manual answer. We'll hit next. TSID is transmitted when you send a fax and consists of the fax number and a business name. We can leave it as fax, I guess. CSID is same thing. We can leave it there. And when a fax is received, we don't need to worry about. So we'll hit that. We'll hit finish. And now, welcome to the Send Fax Wizard. We'll hit next. 2-516-555-5555. I think we're good with that. Enter the recipient's fax number. So we'll put that. Hit next. We don't want a cover page. We'll hit next. Send it now. Priority normal. Preview fax. The fax preview cannot be displayed. Okay. So we're going to hit start. No, we're going to pick up and hit start. Receiving. Finish. And it says I did it. And we'll see. Oh, okay. More. Dialing. This is taking a lot longer to dialing than I remember. So that's not great. Still says receiving over here. Now remember, like I said, I had a different cable back at that time, different telephone wire. So perhaps that has something to do with it. It says telephone again. I'll hit receive again. It timed out. It looks like I'm going to have to play with this to see if I can make it work again. I've swapped to a different cable. Hopefully that cable was no good. So we're going to pick this up again. It says telephone, start, receiving. We'll hit next. Send, go, yes, finish. And that's that. Dialing. And hopefully it's going to work again, because I don't know how it worked the first time. And if it doesn't work now, there's no chance of me find... Oh, there it goes. Sending page 1 of 1. It works. This is exactly what it did last time. Later we'll play with this thing and see if we can get it to receive there as well. So I'm just going to leave this go. Again, the quality is going to be terribly horrible. And, you know, we'll go from there, see if we can make it work at least. It kind of almost did it. With the rotten old thermal paper that's in here, and then the cutter jammed again. Yeah. Sounds like it wants to cut, but it just, I don't know. I'll have to take the paper out and try to cut it and refeed it. See if I can make it work better. With a couple of tools, I was able to relieve this thing of its jam, and now it is cutting the paper and apparently printing. So we're going to just try our print job one more time, just to ensure it works, so to speak. So we'll set that back to fax. And like I said, there's still a disclaimer, which I have not said yet, and we'll get to that a bit later in the video. So we'll wait for that. There we go. And it's processing that. We're going to hit next. And we'll go right to fax number. Hit next. Name also. JK18. And that all looks good, so we're ready to go. Off hook. Start says receiving, finish, finish, dialing, still says receiving on the other end. There he goes. Awesome. It looks like it's working. So let me let a little page come out and I'll show you. Just barely moving. But there's our print job. And in certain spots it picks up speed and then slows down and speeds up and slows down and all that great stuff. So there is our print job. That's a reasonable facsimile thereof, is it not? Yeah, and we'll close this. Yeah, I'll close that. And there's the original picture and our fax printed picture. Beautiful. There is no way to send the fax machine a Windows test page, but I have one printed from this other printer from earlier, so we can try and see if we can scan this in. Okay, I have the fax console open, pointing to receive a fax now. Paper is loaded in. It says fax number in start or copy, press copy. Fax number, start, dialing, receive. Holy crap, it's connecting! Fucking right! Oh, is it gonna jam? Yo, that's not good. Can we stop it? Stop key pressed. Yeah, good for him. Let me unjam it. It says it received a partial fax, but I don't care about that. We'll try it again. We'll go to receive. Start, receive. Don't jam this time, please. Let's see. Oh, looks better. Yes! Move it back so it doesn't jam anything. Oh, it's got some fuzzies. I wonder what that hum is. Like in between sending bursts. That's sent a lot faster. Or maybe it actually has a buffer where it scans into memory. I guess perhaps it does, because it still says sending. There we go. It was received successfully. This is it. Can't be displayed because your operating system doesn't have a viewer for default what? Alright, where just a minute. Well, it received it, but kind of squished. Whatever, that doesn't matter really. Let's try printing it back out. So we'll hit print. I'm using PaintShop Pro, which definitely reads TIFF files without any problem. And we'll run through this. 2JK18 at 555555555. And we're ready. Take that off hook. Start says receiving. Finish. Dialing. And this should theoretically print a lot faster. Receiving. Oh, made a weird sound. That was crap from before. Oh yeah, faxing from back in the day. It's moving. Yeah, there it is. Nice. Beautiful. Awesome. So it works. So there we go. We printed and scanned using a fax machine over the phone line. Now we'll hook up this laser jobby here and see if we can do the same thing. Okay, it says it's sleeping, but that's alright. I have exactly the same phone cable hooked up. We're going to try the same thing. It says telephone. It says receiving. We'll hit finish. Finish. It says receiving still. I'm printing the picture of the thermostat again. Sending page 1 of 1. And it actually lit up the fuser roller. What? Maybe it's just readying itself? You can hear the fuser heated up. It's sending, and I'll come back if anything happens. Just finished. There was printing on the paper from before when I was running out of paper, but man, that actually really doesn't look bad. That really doesn't look bad. I'm going to get some new paper and I'll reprint it so we could see what it'll actually look like. And then we'll try scanning into the computer from there. It takes well over 7 minutes a page when you're sending a full page image like this. So somewhere in here it'll start to print. You know, seriously, that looks damn good for a fax. I gotta say. I really have to say. I do not have the drivers installed on this machine for this printer, so printing it to look like it would look like if you printed it, it's... Take it on faith, this is pretty good. So now, of course, somebody's going to ask, well, send this back to the computer. Okay, another 7.5 minutes. Start. Fine, it says memory. We'll hit receive. The call was answered. It scans in. Yeah, it says memory 001. Weird. Now it says dialing. Now it says sending. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, it received it. Can scroll. Problem is, if I make this smaller, it's going to look like crap. See, that's not what it looked like before, but it did receive it, certainly. And just for fun, we'll go ahead and receive the Windows test page. Receive. Start. Memory. Why does it say 002? Maybe it forgets after it's powered off? I don't know. Now it says dialing. Good thing this thing doesn't have to wait for a dial tone, it'll just do it. Thank frig for that. And sending. Beautiful. So once that comes in, I'll load it up and then, you know, we'll go from there. A little crooked, but it received it. And for fun, I'll print it back to the fax machine so you can do like a copy. So for that, we're going to hit File. Let's do page setup and make sure it's good. Fit to page is fine. And File, Print to Fax. Okay. Next. Type in the credentials. We'll hit next, 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 finish, and it should be sending. Nope, gotta take it off hook first. Receiving. There's a little dust on there. This is dialing still. Sending. Lights up the diffuser. And this should send in, really, it only took, 30 seconds or so. Okay, the printer mechanism is heated up and ready. And it still says sending, and we're at 50 seconds. Still sending. There he goes. Ta-da! And there we are. Not horrible for it being a fax of a fax of a fax. Okay. Now, possible disclaimer time. Let me reconfigure. What has changed now is the laptop. So here's a different machine. This happens to have a Connexent modem compared to the Lucent Win modem in the other machine, just how it came equipped from Dell. So we'll go through the same motions. We'll hit Properties. And eventually it'll give us properties, perhaps. I don't know why that's taking so long, but eventually it will. There he goes. Over here, uncheck, wait for dial tone. Hit OK. I have to see if the fax driver is in, but let me get the picture I need, which is on here. That one. So there's the picture, and is the fax installed? Probably not, is my guess. Doesn't look like anything. Wonderful. That's not going to be helpful. Let me get that installed. No can do. I don't have a Windows XP Professional Service Pack 3 CD, which this machine was installed from, and that's where it ends. The disclaimer was, you will probably not be able to get this to work. I do not understand why, but the other laptop was the only laptop, and I did not have this one at the time. The other laptop was the only laptop I was able to get this printing and scanning to and from a fax machine to work with. If you had heard earlier when it would quote-unquote dial out from the other machine, there was a lot of noise on the line. Perhaps that other modem puts voltage on there on the phone line and allows it to work, where without that it can't hear it, or it can't receive it, or send it, or I don't know. But any other machine I had tried this on, it never worked on. So your mileage will vary. But we have proven that indeed you can scan and print over a phone line with the right equipment to a fax machine. My goodness. So I'm sorry to leave you hanging like that, but there's nothing I can do. This is the only other laptop I have that is handy, although, let me see for a minute. No, the only other laptops I have down here do not have dial-up modems. So I'm kind of dead in the water unless I dig out like a really ancient one from the pile, and that's really a pain right now to do. So such is. So you can try this, but no guarantees at all that it's going to work. But I've proven that it is indeed possible with the right equipment. Thank you for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, somehow I was able to force it. And here it is. So let me open that. And we'll put in the area code, and that's all good. And that's fine. And we'll just hit OK. And I'll type in some info. Alright, got everything in. We'll hit next, next, next. We'll set this to receive now. Start receiving. Finish, and let's see what happens. Fax console. More. Oh! Is it going to work? I hear something. See, there you go. It's not working. Says receiving. I heard other fax tones, but it's not going to go. It's just not going to go. I have no idea why it works with that other Dell laptop and not any other machine I've tried, but it doesn't work. Well, at least I was able to prove that it doesn't work, even though it works. I don't know how or why. I don't have an explanation. If anybody has any idea why it worked with the other modem, is it putting voltage on there? There's no answer. And that's it. It's all done. It didn't work, and that's the end of that. Anybody has a clue, I'd love to know, because I can't understand why or what is different or what's going on otherwise. But anyway, that is now finally it. So thank you once again for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.